Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Start Guide. It's day 19. No, it's day 15. I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's day 15, and I've done a thing. Um, I won a tournament. Now, it wasn't the tournament that I said I really wanted to try to win, which was the champion training tournament. I got up this morning and I took a quick look at it, and it looks like it's simply not going to be possible. It's still 2 hours away, but I'm not doing it. But I'll just show you what we're looking at. So the top two places, they're pretty far from where we are, and we're pretty far from being able to get Kale to 6 stars, which is really where you get the vast majority of the points when jumping up. We're just not going to make it. And I'm okay with that because I have a much more efficient way forward, so we don't have to worry about wasting materials. But here's what we got. This just finished. I had no intention of winning this tournament until I got up this morning and I noticed that the lead was at about 1330. This guy, a page 03, and he was just kind of sitting here. I was, I think, at about 900, and I figured I could probably get that far. And then this guy started to move as well, this roamer, but I sniped him. I noticed him jumping up points like at the last possible moment, and I blew through some gems. I'm going to admit here, I blew through 105 gems to make this happen because I needed to get 3 refreshes on the arena, but I think it was totally worth it because we are going to collect 4 pieces of 6-star legendary uh, relentless gear, which is like amazing. Even for an end game account, it's amazing. For an early game account like this, it's going to be amazingly amazing, I guess. Why am I coming here? So we could even try to take a look at it. I did it again. Champions. You know what? The first thing we should do, of course, check in. This is what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We check in. We claim this. It's probably going to be energy. No, it's not. Cool. So we don't have to be in a rush to get on top of the energy this time. But I want to look at the gear. And I clicked on the index again. I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. I'm sorry. So we look at the new stuff. We actually have a lot of new stuff because I've already been farming Ice Golem a little bit. I basically waited as long as I could before the Dungeon Divers event dropped. And now that the Dungeon Divers is available, we can double dip by going after Dungeon Divers and by going after um, the Ice Golem tournament. So this has speed as a subset. I really, really like this. Speed substat. The crit damage is okay. It'd be better to have crit rate. No speed. That's got crit rate on it, which is pretty cool. But I don't love the flat stats. But you know what? Even with this stuff, we could potentially re-roll it. I like the HP percent on gauntlets, especially if it rolls a bunch of resistance. That could actually be good for somebody that needs to be tanky and slow, who maybe needs an extra turn. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with that gear yet. I'm just excited to have got the gear, and I wanted to show off. Hey, shut up. It made sense to me. So let's take a look at the notes. We got our dailies. I think we're pretty much on top of the dailies. I completed them earlier, and maybe I could have done another session where we went through it together, but I wanted to concentrate on that tournament, and I'll show you what I did. But when I'm talking and playing at the same time, I find I'm a little more distractible. I When I play this game, I'm not as bad as when I'm playing and making a video. So we got the weeklies. This is reset. We can now go through the dungeons. But in the arena, what I did, I don't even know if I can. We'll have to do this in Classic. What I did was I set up a couple of GIMP teams. Yeah, why not? Let's grab that then. What I did was I set up some GIMP teams. So sometimes I'd run tag 1, tag 2, and a loss leader, If I saw a team that had like a 6-star Kale and some other stuff that I had no chance of beating, I just put it against the loss leader. Why not just lose as quickly as possible and then score 2 wins instead of the 3 teams? So I basically have 2 stronger teams than I did before when it was 3 that were kind of meh. And finally, when it got right down to the wire and I needed to pull ahead of the other guy, I found one team where I could beat one fight very quickly. And basically, it was just Kale completely nuking out one team and then 2 guys dying very quickly because you could just reset that over and over and over again. Mr. Burrito Slayer, my friend, co-YouTuber, co-member of the clan, and all that fun stuff. He has a story about how he was competing against somebody in a tag team arena tournament, and he actually found that guy's defense and did that to his defense. So it slowly drove up the rank of the guy he was competing against, so that he got harder and harder fights. And meanwhile, Mr. B was just sinking down in the ranks and getting easy 1/3 of the points, but just burning through gems and getting there. I found that inspiring and hilarious. Um, you know what? I may have just exposed you, Mr. B. Maybe you were in Witsec because apparently he changed his name after that and changed clans and all that. So I don't know if that guy happens to be watching. I made this story up, and Mr. B is a cover, and it's not really him. There, I saved it. Anyway, this looks like an easy fight. I'm just going to blast through her. And on the notes, what I'm thinking is missions and challenges, they're probably going to be on hold for the time being. And I'll show you the immediate reason why. For missions, we just can't do this today without spending gems, which I don't want to do. I already blew a huge number of gems. I want to save as many as possible just in case we need them to complete the fragment events, because we may run very low on energy at some point. This could get right down to the wire. I'm already having a little buyer's remorse for the 1,000 that I've put into the gem mine so far. But we still have 400, which is good enough for us to purchase 10 energy refills, which should be enough, particularly since we have other energy too. Like we got a nice 100 here. We got some full energy refills. I'm not going to use any of those today. Instead, I'm going to hold off on them because Clan versus Clan is coming up. We might as well triple dip. So when Clan versus Clan drops tomorrow, I'm going to show you guys the triple dip, and it's not just going to be a triple dip. I'm still lying to you. It's going to be a quadruple dip, because here's what I'm doing at this point. I'm probably just going to run stage 7, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solo with Kale, because I was noticing Kale was one of the only guys surviving anyway. I figure, you know what, screw it. Why not just put him in a bunch of Dark Elf food? So even if this was like a mono faction thing, if they happen to drop a tournament at some point where it's beat the Ice Golem with Dark Elves, hey, if you can solo, you could do a mono faction event. I don't know if this is necessarily practical for most early game accounts, but I don't know. I seem to be making it work, and I don't really think I'm anything special. You just have to be prepared to run 7 a bunch of times. So we're not going to do this too much today. Well, we aren't. I am. When I'm not doing the episode. But I want to be vigilant while running this. Particularly, I did one-star food this time, just because every now and again things look really, really grim for Kale. Like, he got frozen, so he lost a turn. He's on decreased defense, and if he gets hit by heal reduction, then he's not even healing using his he's not even healing using his lifesteal setup. But we seem to just make it each time. It makes me a little uncomfortable. I think he could probably lose at some point, but I don't know. I've tried it. I haven't tried it with one-star food. This is the real test right here, because this is the worst the food could possibly be. Mind you, they're pretty much going down in one hit anyway. So, I don't know. I'll run it a couple of times just to make sure. I could even take an energy tank, put it on auto while we go over the notes. Because I wanna go over the notes with you guys for the 19th. Because January 19th is going to be a very special day. Because we're going to be doing the Champion Chase tournament starting January 19th. So all of the resources that we're collecting all works towards clearing that event. If we can't clear that event, we're finished. We're not going to make it. We're not going to have the fragments we want, and we want these fragments. So let's just quit out of this for now. So we have Rathalos. We're saving Rathalos. We do not want to claim Rathalos until the 19th. And same with Jizo. If you're not doing the events, of course, go ahead and claim Rathalos during clan versus clan, because that would also be a good use for it. Assuming that you're in a clan at this point, which you should be by day 15. If you're further along, you're almost certainly in a clan, and it makes sense just to hold off on it. In case you didn't see the other episodes, basically when it flashes this at you, instead of claiming it, you hit L on your keyboard so that you can go to another mode, and then you just pick something else to do. What can I pick? On advanced, for example, defeat a faction wars boss, and then just go to this Bannerlord stage. I don't really have any good Bannerlords, but it doesn't matter. The point is just to start a fight, any fight with anything. It could be clan boss or whatever, and then just immediately leave. And that will basically clear the pop-up from the memory, and it'll just go back to here. I don't know if Plarium did this on purpose, or if this is a bug, or if this is an exploit. I don't know, but I'm grateful that we have it because it is going to give us extra points. Because here's what we're looking at. This right now, this is the shard pool. And if I go to my notes, and let's see. Okay, yeah, everything's showing. So I'm going to scroll down to this here. So these are the totals. We get 500 points for Rathalos, assuming the point system is the same as it's been in the past. If it turns out to be different, then we're going to have to rethink things a little, but it usually is 500 points for any non-void legendary, which Rathalos is. Then you have Jizo. You get 250 points for a non-void epic, which Jizo is. So we're going to get 750 points just for that. We get up to 1,000 when we use the Sacred. The Sacred is going to at least be an epic. So that's the beauty. But it could be a legendary. If it is, then we get an extra 250 points. That's why I say assuming the worst luck. Assuming the worst luck, we're going to get at least 1,000 points just for those three things. The Void is going to be at least a Void Rare, which is worth 50 points. The Ancients, if we get nothing but rares, they'll be worth 10 points each. And I had 15 when last I checked. Oh yeah, I just collected one of the things. So it could be 60 now, but you know what? I'll probably update these notes again before then. Anyway, we'll lowball it. We'll lowball it. Better to be on the safe side, right? So the mystery shards, I assume we'll have about 300. We could have 400 by then. We might even have more. It kind of depends on what happens. We can even find ancients at the market. We can find them while we're scouring the dungeon. They drop occasionally. It's a 0.5% chance, so 0.5%. We have to run the dungeon about 200 times to see one. We are probably going to run the dungeon about 200 times, though, so we might get one. So anyway, that's a 1,500 point total. I'm expecting the number of points required to be somewhere in the 2,000 plus range, maybe 2,500. That's what I'm expecting. So if that's the case, we're still not making it. So we're going to have to get creative at that point, but I said here, not including market champs. So If push comes to shove, we can refresh the market a bunch, get more mystery shards, maybe get some more ancient shards as the market refreshes. Um, and any market champs that we purchase are also points. Running campaign, also you get points. I mean, we could just keep farming for War Maiden, for example. And if we pop a duplicate War Maiden or a duplicate whatever his name is, I've got so many of them now that I've just been turning them into food. It's Berserker. His name's Berserker. And where are they? Yeah, I've got at least three of them already. And they just keep coming. They just keep coming. The Faction Guardian ring, it's nothing but Berserkers. Let's just keep getting Berserkers. I think we've gotten 4 War Maidens ever, and at least 13 Berserkers. Has anybody else had this problem out there where you're craving one champion and the game just keeps giving you the other one? Um, do we have any duplicate War Maidens? Come to think of it, I just want to do a quick check for War Maiden. No, no duplicates of War Maiden. What about him? Okay, yeah, we got a duplicate of Armiger. So let's see. Let's see. Riposte. Um, nope, that's still not the right skill. But you know what? Now they're going to go into the right skill. We just got to be patient with this one. Um, I don't really think there's anybody else worth considering. We got 3 legendary books. So these could go into Sun Wukong. I'm tempted to do that. It'll be during CVC, so we can at least get the points um, for clan versus clan. I don't think books are worth anything in the Champion Chase event. They are worth something in the Champion Chase tournament, though. But I've pretty much given up on the tournament. So, anyway, this is what is planned for January 19th. And I'm very excited to be doing that. But that will be then. In the meantime, I'm not sure what else we can do today. Because the Bannerlords, the sad thing is Bannerlords is one of the factions that's open. And I just threw in an unleveled 3-star to complete, or to not even complete that one stage. I don't know if you can do it without any gear. If I geared Spymaster, we can probably just farm the food from Area 1. But unfortunately, the daily advanced quest that we got is the boss quest, and I don't have a team good enough for that. For High Elves, it was the same thing. I farmed it already, but basically I've got a level 3 Elhain with some kind of semi-decent gear for where she's at. So we're not going to get that extra energy tank. So that kind of sucks. But I even want to update the notes here. I mean, right now I'm looking at the triple threat fragment thing, right? So this is where we're sitting on the mini account. We're at 30. We have to do everything. Absolutely everything. And these are the only 2 we can even do today. So basically, I'm just going to spend any extra energy on this, and then the energy that we have squirreled away in various places, that we're going to use tomorrow during CVC so we can quadruple dip. That's going to be the plan. And oh no, I've distracted myself again. But yeah, if it expires today, we use it today. That's basically the plan. So this extra energy tank, and that's it. There's other stuff stashed away in the tournaments. I think this is what I was thinking that I forgot. Just so I don't leave you guys wondering about this unsolved mystery I never got on top of. The Tag Arena tournament has 300 energy stashed in it. The Classic Arena Takedown, I think, has 75. If I'm not mistaken, the Ice Golem tournament, I think we just got progress there. So here's 75 extra energy. How are we doing in the tournament? Let's see what our rank looks like. So we're 5th overall. We're not that far behind 1st. So there's 5-star gear here. It looks like there's fiercer competition, basically for worse gear than what we got today. So I'm not going to kill myself trying to get to that. I'm okay just just with what we got. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If I get up early in the morning and it looks like it's within reach, but I don't know. I don't know. I have lots of non-raid related stuff to do today, so it will be it'll work out the way it works out. We only need to get to 950 points. That's not bad. I think it's something like 2,250 on my main account. So again, Plarium is being nicer to the fresher accounts. Looks like there's a nice advantage there. What about the events? I didn't even look at the totals yet. So I'm not even sure what we're dealing with. Is it 2,000 again? It's 2,850. Come to think of it, 2,000 was the artifact enhancement event. So if they keep those at 2,000, we should be fine to do these. 2,850 is still pretty rough, but on my main account, I think it's like 4,000. So it is harsher on advanced accounts. We completed this, right? I'm just going to triple check. We can't miss anything. Yeah, so we completed it. It was 2,000. We do have an extra 150 energy here, so we'll use that tomorrow. That's the plan. So that basically means what's left? Probably clan boss. We haven't done that yet today, have we? So yeah, we want to make sure we get on top of Ice Golem Dungeon Divers event. That's about all we have to worry about. We want to conserve shards and stuff. And aside from that, we want to do the clan boss, which is number 1. So basically, we're doing this half, and we are not doing this half for the foreseeable future, because even beyond this first mission, there's also stuff at the Void Keep. One of the challenges is at the Void Keep, which is dungeons. I do want to get on top of these, but that may have to wait a week or two. And honestly, we're doing pretty well. I mean, it might even be worth doing it if you know what, there is not another void day before we need this shard, so never mind. There's really just no pressing reason to do it. If it were tomorrow, then it might be worth it, but it isn't. So we're gonna just put a pin in that, and that's fine. Instead, we're just gonna go to the dungeons. We're gonna run Ice Golem's Peak 7, and could even just run a multi-battle. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to bother doing a multi-battle. I'm just going to level them, and then I'll upgrade them to 2 stars. Because I think I just want to leave these units in. Because I need more 2s. That's what I noticed back at the tavern. I'm trying to create 5-star food. You got to do that with 4-star food, but you have to have enough 4 stars. So if you don't, you then look at how many 3 stars you've got. And it turns out I have a number of leveled 3 stars, but I don't have enough 3-star units to feed them, so I just need to level a whole bunch of 2s. And in this game, half of your time on farming is probably going to be spent on 2s. So sometimes you want to strategically plan for campaign farming. Are we going to die this time? Oh no. Okay. So, here's the deal then. I'm gonna 2-man. I think the 2-man should be perfectly safe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out, say, her, and we'll put in shield guard. That'll probably be fine. Do we have any 2 stars we can queue up? So I'll just edit the queue. And we have more 1 stars I could queue up as well. But let's queue up some 2 stars. So we could take these guys, and that's probably good enough, because we're not going to burn through any extra energy. don't continue when they hit max level, but it'll switch them when they hit max level. Continue multi-battle if you lose. Fine. I mean, you know what? Yes. We're going to continue multi-battle even if we lose. Or maybe not. Yeah, I'm sorry about my indecisiveness. We'll let it stop. If we lose with this team, we'll let it stop because it means there is something wrong with my strategy. And if that's the case, I'm going to want to know that. So we let that run background. I guess it still looks like the foreground to you guys because you're not seeing exactly what I'm seeing. But anyway, what else do we really need to cover today? Is there anything I'm missing? Like I said this the other day, the Broadmaw fusion is probably just straight up not worth doing. It might be worth doing it if you happen to have the champions and you happen to want some extra points. Maybe you're doing the champion chase tournament and you want the extra points. But it, it's great to be able to get a bunch of uncommon champions and level them up and ascend them and have them at the ready so that you can dump them to get a free epic for a free 250 points. That's cool. But we actually need 2 void rares that we need to farm from the tag team arena, and that is going to take at least a month, which still means it's basically not practical for our purposes. I did actually purchase one Drexstar fragment while doing the tournament. Turned out I made enough points, I made enough gold bars for one Drexstar fragment, so I purchased it. I'm going to try to remember to do that every day because these are important. Maybe if we can get to maybe bronze 3, we can actually get one every day. So I'll try to make that happen. That's going to be a goal. Um, I mean, maybe I even want to put that, bronze 3. Is that what we need? I'm not sure. Because I really don't want to do 20 fights every day. That's just it's time consuming. Part of my goal with this free to play was to figure out how to do the 1 hour per day max, and I've just fallen right off the rails. I mean, I'm keeping the videos to under an hour a day now for the most part. I mean, how deep are we into the video right now? Close to half an hour. Um, but I've been playing this a lot since I started trying to do the fragment events. And it gives you a sense of just how much time you can lose into this game. This game is expensive on time. Even if you're free to play, it's just going to tax your time. And it's rough if you have other things going on in your life. Even if you have no life, you're going to be like, man, I took 2 weeks off work. I wanted to do nothing but like stay at home and eat popcorn and watch movies, but I can't watch movies because I'm too busy playing this game. So maybe you listen to audiobooks instead. Listening to audiobooks is a good way to pass the time when you're doing this, unless you're a fellow content creator and you want to create content while doing it, and that's something. Sometimes I will listen to other content creators while I play, just anything to beat the monotony of doing the grind, doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, it's happening over there right now, over there, whichever direction that is. Which direction is that? It's nope, got it wrong. It's that way. It's this way for me, but it's that way for you. So this over here, all this, all the grind, that's the grind, and the grind is real. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So, is there anything else? I mean, we covered the progress in the fragment frenzy. That's what I'm going to call it, the fragment frenzy. It's going to be a frenzy, but I think we can do it. So we got to get through this. Artifact Enhancement 2 drops when? I don't know the exact day. I forget. But and I don't know if I covered this in one of my best start videos. I think I covered it in the other PSA with Sharadio, the guy that wears the red hat. He's a good friend of mine. Different, totally different dude though. I know we look similar, but he's a totally different guy. Um, basically the time that they expire, that's how I ordered the events. So the very last event to expire are Artifact Enhancement 3 and the Spider Tournament. So I just put them on the end of the list and worked backwards so that I made sure that basically whenever I look at what's next, I know that that's the next thing to expire. So on my main account, for example, Artifact Enhancement Event 1, I still haven't done this on my main account. So if I want to do it, I got to do it now because this expires today. And these other two events are open, so they're good to spend my energy on. But even on my main account, I have energy squirreled away in various places that it doesn't encroach on our energy regeneration immediately. And that means we could hold off until clan versus clan because then you can triple dip. Or in the case of this main account, we can quadruple dip because now it looks like we haven't lost a fight yet. So we're gaining 3 food champions. I really wanted 4. If I'd managed the 6-star Kale, I am confident that he could 100% do this stage. It doesn't help that he's the wrong affinity. So maybe if we 6-starred Shield Guard, he'd be the best bet for this stage. He might even be better than Kale. Like, I like Kale for his poisons, but Kale's also hitting hard. And the Ice Golem, the thing to bear in mind about the Ice Golem is every time he does that reaction thing that he just did, that revives his guys if they're dead, and that does even more damage if his guys aren't dead, he does that every time he meets a particular HP threshold. So when you get him down to 80%, 60%, 40%, 20%, I think those are the 4 times, he just comes in and slams you with that move and revives his dudes. If I could get a really hard-hitting Armiger, we could probably even take out his minions permanently. But it's difficult to get that working on auto. Like the Armiger is gonna go after them, but I don't know how well that would work on auto. Also, I've just noticed that they are void affinity for some strange reason. So that actually will help Kale a little bit. But anyway, we're going to get 1,500 there. That's January 19th plan. So basically, the immediate plan, we've done the dailies. We at this point the next gems will go into the mine because we've cleared the market. Then we'll probably start clearing the ring, although I'm toying with the idea of just buying the masteries for Shield Guard or maybe Rathalos or maybe Sun Wukong. I don't know. It it depends on how well we can actually push through Minotaur with Kale when we 6-star him. But the plan is still to 6-star Kale first. After that, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. Aside from that, oh yeah, there's a clan quest going on. I'm still not quite there, but we are getting lots of gear to sell, so we should make it. Right now I'm at about, I'm at what, 3.5 mil out of 5 mil. That's when last I checked. So that's how close we are. So basically by tomorrow when the clan quests reset, we got to finish that. So, reminder everybody, if you have clan quests you've taken, now's the time to do them. It's the final 24-hour period. It's the clan quest reset pretty much coincides with clan versus clan. That's one fairly good way to remind yourself. And so how did we do? Oops, I clicked on the wrong spot. Dang it! Dang it, Gavin! Anyway, it looks like we made it without a loss because we got to the bottom of our energy. Um, that's about all I've got for you today, I think. I mean, I can take a quick look at this, but I don't see any real reason to run for an hour this time. It's just going to be more of the same. It's just going to be more farming. That's it. And not even that much farming, honestly. I'm going to do a little bit of farming in Faction Wars. I am going to be vigilant of some resources that drop here, just so that I don't have to pull our precious shards. Shard saved is a shard earned, and all that. Oh, there is actually one other thing before you go, and it's regarding faction wars. I think the good way forward is one champ per faction. Just basically, as you're playing, have one champ that you just start putting stuff in. Um, Probably a rare, but not necessarily. Like in Lizardmen, I'm using Saurus, and I'm pretty happy with him because he's got an AoE rare with an area of effect. I'm making a mess of the stuff there. Um, so this is a new thought that I had, and I wanted to add it to the plan because basically on any given day, you do want to be able to go to faction wars and at least be able to just farm level one, even if there's nothing else. I don't know if this dude can do it. We could toss some gear on him. I could toss a couple of potions into him until he's at the point where he can do it. I think he's the right champion for the job. I did get very excited when I first saw him, but then again, he's Bannerlords and we're getting Rathalos, so maybe we don't really need to do that with him. Or if we do it with him, it's going to be like just for today. I could do it just for today. Honestly, Spymaster is a decent rare, and I do want to have a token rare for the faction anyway. The other obvious alternative I can think of is Valerie, who is campaign farmable. And in fact, you actually need her anyway. So I haven't been lucky enough to pull Valerie yet, but she is part of, at least I think she's part of that first fusion, which is going to be on the mission track. So at some point, oh, she's actually not. She's not at all. I I lied to you. I'm sorry. Um, it's these four. Like you have Eris. Eris is a fantastic champion, but Eris is not Valerie. So I don't know if you need Valerie for anything at all in this game. Maybe you need her for the other fusion. Is that the case? Is she, yeah. Yeah, she's part of the Razin fusion. So she is part of a fusion. I don't know at what point we'll be ready to do Razin though. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you today. So the video's done. You can leave now. Goodbye and thanks for coming. You're still here. How come? Oh, is that so? Tell me more about this plan of yours to take over the world.